With Halloween fast approaching, maybe you're the type of DM that wants to run a themed type of one-shot for the end of the month. You want to do something spooky for your players. You want to run something to make them shiver, to make them scared, make them worried, and you don't know what creatures would best fit something of this caliber. Well, I have a couple recommendations for you for creatures you can use for a spooky themed one-shot, or maybe even the start of a spooky themed campaign. Some of these creatures are going to be pretty obvious, but some of them you may be surprised. First creature is one of my favorite creatures across all types of mythology, and that is the werewolf. The werewolf is typically a creature both of man and beast, a creature that lies dormant within someone that only comes out once a month when the moon is full and bright high in the sky. The transformation takes over the individual, causing them to go from human to beast and ravage throughout the entire night, only to wake up completely clueless and wondering where they are and why all their clothes are ripped off their body. The werewolf has been depicted as many different things. Some werewolves have full control of their abilities, some have no control whatsoever, some can change at will, some can only change at full moon's rise. Really, it depends on what you, the dungeon master, would like to do with the werewolf and how you would like it to act. You could easily theme it as such. Maybe your party is traveling through the wilderness and they happen across a small little village. Everyone knows everyone, however, a couple people tend to go missing here or there once a month, and one of the farmers seems very, very ragged and tired and panicked every month at around the same time. No one wants to question him though, since everyone's in a tight-knit community, and, well, they can't imagine that ever happening to him. But lo and behold, your party goes and investigates the situation, and maybe with a couple of good persuasions or intimidation checks, you find out that the person has been bitten by some form of wolf creature several months ago, and ever since then, once a month, they undergo some kind of transformation or something happens to them that they don't quite fully understand. And then from there, you could take it however you'd like. Or maybe they know exactly what happened to them, and they are here to terrorize the village, lurk in the shadows, and then that one opportunity per month when the beast takes over, they have full control, and they know exactly what they're doing. And even at this very moment, they're stalking your party right now. A werewolf is a fantastic creature that you could take in any different number of ways, depending on how you decide to run it. My second recommendation to you is probably one that you've already seen coming, and it's on the other side of the spectrum from the werewolf, and that's the vampire. And just like the werewolf, the vampire has been depicted a numerous amount of different ways. You have Nosferatu type vampires, you have Brad Pitt type vampires, you have Count Dracula type vampires, you have all kinds of manner and form of vampires to choose from. Granted, you could just take the standard vampire stat block for 5th edition and run that, or if you want to have a whole lot of fun, just take Strahd von Zarovich's stat block and run that for your party. But in a similar manner, you could have the vampire living all alone in a large castle at the top of a cliffside surrounded in an eternal mist that the townsfolk have always looked up to and wondered what goes on at that castle. Does anyone actually live there? Sometimes I swear I see lights on in some of the tall towers, but anytime anyone tends to go over there and check it out, they don't ever seem to return. So we're discouraged from ever checking it out in full. Or any number of different ways you decide to run it. The choices are yours to spook and scare your players with. Next up on our list of spooky, scary creatures to haunt your players with is none other than the Hag. Hags once again come in a variety of different ways and formats of which to play them. Even across D&D, you can find multiple different types of stat blocks depending on which type of hag you want to run for your party. You can have sea hags, you can have regular hags, you can have a coven of hags, you can do almost any number of different things with the hag format. Maybe a new woman has rolled into town and she's set up a shop nearby one of the larger market stalls, and she's selling a few random knickknacks here or there. Maybe she sells some odd trinkets here and there, maybe she offers some new herbalism aids that help with diseases, or even as simple as just selling homemade pies that taste delicious and make your dreams really rewarding. And everyone in the town seems to love this brand new woman. She's cured their diseases, she's made wonderful pies for their dinners. Everyone is flocking to this person and creating a business extravaganza. However, after a short few weeks, some of those people start to get extremely ill, or they start to wander off and do things that they wouldn't normally do, or even so much so as commit felonies and murder. And every one of them can all relate back to going to that old woman's shop and purchasing one of her several things. But by the time everyone figures out where this is all coming from, she's already gone. She's already gone back into her woods with her cart of supplies and gold and has moved on to the next village. And your party has to stop her. And my final spooky monster recommendation for you to run this Halloween session is none other than an Abolith. If you want to get into the strange, unworldly presence of creatures, and you like things like H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu, mythos type of monsters, then I highly advise going for something like the Abolith. Strange, evil creatures from a time and space not even of this world. Abolith are strange dwellers that live in deep, deep oceans or lakes and speak to people via their dreams and in their heads and can compel them to do any number of things. Aboliths are one of those creatures that are truly capable of really doing almost anything to a party member. They can read their deepest, darkest desires and try and convince them that if you do what the Abolith asks of you or the strange voice in your head asks you, you will achieve those desires. It can even, through its own mucus, cause you to breathe underwater, but you can no longer breathe air. The choices of ways you can run a one-shot with an Abolith at its core are numerous in scope and nature, and with just a little bit of tinkering and a bit of luck, you'll have a fantastic spooky adventure for your party this Halloween. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to tell a friend. If you didn't, be sure to tell me, and I hope you all have a fantastic Halloween. Thank you very much to my Patreons, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Skål!